The chair recognizes His Excellency Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, President of the Republic of Suriname.
Good afternoon, distinguished Madam Chair, Excellencies, heads of state and government, distinguished ministers, heads of international and regional organizations, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to participate in this gathering of leaders of Western Hemisphere. And I express my appreciation to the United States of America for hosting the 9th Summit of the Americas. As leaders of the Western Hemisphere, we find ourselves at a crucial and opportune moment for reassessing, refocusing, and recommitting our endeavors to ensure long-term development and prosperity, and that all peoples of the Americas deserve. Our societies are being threatened because of a lack of development, lack of education, poverty, inequality in the distribution of wealth and welfare, high debt burden, the exclusion of groups in our societies, marginalization of segments of our community, unemployment, and also poor leadership. These all threaten the bedrock of our democratic institutions. The theme for this summit is indeed timely, given the current state of affairs on our continent due to the COVID-19 pandemic, especially the detrimental effects of disinformation through fake news, a massive economic downturn, increasing inequality, and the impact of the invasion of Russia in Ukraine. Madam Chair, therefore, all countries must participate in hemispheric discussion on all issues and exert all efforts to work collaboratively towards addressing these issues affecting our hemisphere, our nations, and our people. I regret that some of our brothers and sisters are not here today, and therefore, I call upon all of us as leaders in government to engage in meaningful and equitable dialogue to further peaceful coexistence and impactful cooperation in our hemisphere. Let us commit to authorize the relevant inter-American institutions to start this dialogue so that all countries in our hemisphere can be included in charting the path towards sustainable development for our nations and peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, the impact of the climate crisis inhibits the building of a sustainable and resilient future. As small islands developing and low-lying coastal states, we continue to stress the importance of the multi-dimensional vulnerability index. Access to concessional fundings remains critical. Most importantly, unfair, unrealistic, and counterproductive classification instruments should be reconsidered because they place countries in a vulnerable and unfavorable position. The result is that many countries are excluded from global and regional financial instruments. The time to act is now to correct these unfair and counterproductive practices and measures. Our needs, our crisis is immediate, and we need action now. Ladies and gentlemen, currently The interior of my country, Suriname, is experiencing severe flooding due to persistent and excessive rainfall, and in its wake, there is massive destruction of property and livelihoods. This disaster is in stark contrast to Suriname's commitment to maintain high levels of forest coverage of above 90% and acts as an important carbon sink for the world. In addition, Suriname is one of the only 3 carbon negative countries in the world and has taken bold steps to identify mitigation and adaptation measures to build resilience and reduce emissions while conserving our biodiversity and strengthening sustainable forest management. But how do we implement these measures as a country is faced with immense financial challenges? How do we maintain the demands for prosperous life for our citizens if these strategic objectives are not delivering economic prosperity and growth? Madam Chair, Suriname is at its cusp of attracting substantial foreign direct investment, particularly in the extractive industry. My government is determined to create an economy upon which future generations can build and from which they will derive a steady income. We are ready. We have started our transition to a sustainable economy with as goal 80% green energy by the year 2060. At the same time, we are aware of the fact that onus is on us to make sure that we manage our oil and gas resources responsibly and in an environmental friendly manner. In charting the transition, we must recognize that others have gone there before us. They have profited from the earned revenues to develop a modern economy. Let us be fair and give the same opportunity to newcomers like Suriname and Guyana as well. We all will benefit from those efforts. And in this perspective, the initiative of having strong cooperation between Brazil, Guyana, and Suriname on the presidential level is very important, and there is still room to expand this high-level meeting with other countries. Madam Chair, we have no choice than to scale up the implementation of the commitments made during our previous summits in collaboration with all relevant stakeholders. I hope that what we have agreed on in terms of follow-up mechanism will be acted upon with sincerity and speed. In this regard, I also refer to the recent and important U.S.-Caribbean dialogue initiated by the Vice President Kamala Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, as the incoming chairman of the 15 Nations of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, I also commit to further the dialogue with the leaders of the Western Hemisphere in the pursuit of peace, democracy, and the rule of law, as well as to contribute to strengthening a more cooperative, committed, and impactful inter-American multilateralism. I thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.